Alibaba will literally ruin your e-commerce business. I'm so sick of seeing all these dropship and e-commerce gurus that started selling online literally yesterday. All of a sudden now they're experienced and they want to teach you how to sell low quality garbage products from China on TikTok. Instead of using the food court equivalent of suppliers in terms of quality, instead you can use North American or locally based suppliers and sell brand name items without spending on marketing and advertising, and scale your business like I have to over $10 million in revenue since I started selling on Amazon. So when I mention Alibaba, I'm sure quite a few of you are probably thinking, is that the same thing as AliExpress? I remember buying a 3D printer or something from there once. So Alibaba and AliExpress are both owned by the same company, but Alibaba is a network of manufacturers that sell products in bulk. But you're not always actually going to be getting a manufacturer when dealing with Alibaba. Sometimes you're actually going to get a third-party reseller, and they're the ones buying directly from the manufacturer. In simpler terms, you can just think of AliExpress kind of like an eBay, and Alibaba is kind of like a digital trade show for vendors and suppliers to sell their products in bulk. Avoiding Alibaba, I mean, there isn't anything wrong with Alibaba, but there is a lot better alternatives. Now, the low cost per unit that you can get in buying these products from Alibaba and buying them from China, a lot of people say a lot of negative things about the quality of products in China. Nowadays, almost everything is made in China, but a lot of these suppliers you will find on Alibaba, especially the ones with unbelievably low prices, there's normally a reason why, and it's normally a quality problem. You also won't be finding any name brand products on Alibaba unless it's a knockoff, because they do not have large name brands. And as we know, the easiest and most simple way to scale an Amazon business is reselling the brand name stuff and not doing private label. Buying directly from wholesale suppliers, you're still going to be able to get very good prices. Now, there is a way to step over wholesale suppliers, but it normally comes with having a registered business, that business being around for at least a few years, and you already have trade references from multiple wholesale suppliers. Once you have that in your books and under your belt, you're eventually going to be able to go and buy directly from distributors of these brand name products. So that's kind of going to be like buying from Alibaba and getting from these manufacturers and vendors, but you're going to be buying brand name products instead, which require $0 in advertising and marketing and makes it even more profitable and scalable for you as an Amazon seller. And again, the number one determining factor to whether you're going to be able to do well is how much money do you have and how much experience do you have combined to spend this money on these private label products and get them selling, get them ranked, and then have them becoming consistent selling products. It's very difficult to do, especially for newbies, even for seasoned and experienced sellers. I have people that come to me and say, hey, I've been selling on Amazon for 3 years. I spent like 50 grand in private label. I have one product that makes me 2 grand a month. And I say, how many products have you tried to sell over the years? And they say, almost 10 products. This is where all the money that's gone, and I've pretty much wasted it, but I got one winner out of these products I've sold. And then I go, well, here's wholesale. And 6 months later, they've literally made triple what they've made with their first 3 years of private label and the first like 6-12 months of wholesale, putting in the same amount of effort they're willing to put in over there. So that literally just goes to show you the differences between these two models. Being able to work with these wholesale suppliers, there's so many benefits that come with it. Just going off the basis of not having to spend money on advertising and marketing and just reselling the brand name stuff. Quality control obviously goes way up. You're having locally based employees that live probably in the same country as you. You're also going to have very fast shipping times. So some better options in terms of these vendors and how to build a wholesale business. So I can already hear you yelling at me saying, Kevin, where is the best suppliers that I can get access to that can help me build this business if I'm not doing Alibaba private label from China? Well, some of the suppliers that you can use, one is actually a database called inventorysource.com. They have thousands and thousands of suppliers that allow Amazon FBA, their wholesale suppliers with brand name items. And there's actually a few hundred of them that allow drop shipping. Now, drop shipping from these vendors, they'll put your name on the package. And that means you're going to be Amazon policy compliant when it comes to drop shipping. Crazy, right? But dropshipping is a more tumultuous business, and I don't recommend it to scale. I only recommend it as to get your foot in the door, or maybe just to kind of get a little bit of experience before you decide to start sending the items to FBA. Over the last couple of years, Amazon has gotten a lot more strict when it comes to the dropship or FBM methods. You can still do it, especially if you're doing it within policy. It's just a lot more difficult and tumultuous, so I do recommend FBA. So knowing we have private label from Alibaba, and then we still have FBA, but buying from wholesale suppliers, and then we have the dropship method, but using suppliers that allow you to stay within Amazon's policies. So the wholesale FBA and the drop shipping within policy from these suppliers is going to be the two most simple ways and the best ways to start when it comes to selling on Amazon, especially when you compare it to the private label Alibaba. Even if you're not using Alibaba and you're doing private label and you're buying these products in bulk, you still have to have a marketing budget. You have to have money set aside for marketing and advertising, and you have to have the understanding, and this is normally what people do not tell you up front, but I'm going to tell you right now, not every single product is a winner that you're going to sell on Amazon via private label. And if you're brand new and you're just starting to learn about private label and you just watch 5 different YouTube gurus videos about private label and they didn't tell you that, well, I'm sorry to be the one that breaks your heart. If you don't got 20 grand for a few products or 5 grand plus per product just in advertising costs, you're going to have a hard time doing well with private label. Now you're probably thinking, Kevin, if you also teach private label among the other methods you're talking about, why would you bash the method, or why would you tell me it's going to cost me so much, and why would you break my heart if you maybe want to sell me your course? Well, guess what? I don't care if I sell you my course or not, and I don't care if you become a client of mine or not. The reason I do YouTube videos is to help people, is to give value. Now, if you end up deciding you want me to mentor you, you want me to build the business for you, that's going to be your decision in the end, not mine. You're informed, you're knowledgeable, and you know what you're doing before you get yourself into it. Now, I know a lot of people don't operate that way, and that's why they're called gurus, because they want to act like they know everything, but they don't actually tell you everything. And to me, it's absolute BS. So out of those two models that I mentioned, the wholesale through dropship and wholesale through FBA, which one would I recommend you do first? Well, I do recommend doing the wholesale via FBA first. You want to get in Amazon's good graces. The best thing you can do is send the product to them and let them handle it. A 10-year-old Amazon store versus a 1-month-old Amazon store, the 10-month-old store is going to get sales before the 1-month-old store, and I know it might suck to hear, but the newer the store, the harder it is going to be for you to get sales, but it's not impossible. You can make sales, everyone does it, and every single new Amazon seller in existence that ends up making sales, and then 1, 2, 3 years later, they're making bank, they all started in the same place. So yes, you can make money as a brand new Amazon seller, it's just going to take time. So being that the wholesale FBA would be my first recommendation, my second one would be the wholesale via dropship, or I would actually do private label via dropshipping. You're thinking, hold up, Kev, you said screw private label. Why are you telling me to do it now? Well, I don't want you to buy from Alibaba. I don't want you to buy in bulk. And I don't want you to set 5, 10, 20 grand aside for marketing and advertising. I want you to set $0 aside for marketing and advertising. And I want you to use private label dropship vendors that are locally based that will fulfill your item for you within Amazon policy. And they will even brand it for you. And some of these guys only charge $150 to $200 setup fee. That means you can list the product, because listing a product on Amazon is free if you have the professional seller account. Again, you need to have an understanding of keyword research, how to do a title, how to do a listing, how to do your bullet points. You need to know what you're doing before you start firing these listings off. So let's just pretend you already know what you're doing. And then we get back to list 50 of these items on your store through dropship, and don't spend any money on advertising and marketing. Just sit back, relax, and wait for some of these items to start selling. This is what I did in the first few years of selling on Amazon. I was selling brand name stuff, and I was doing what I like to call original listings. You're just gonna let Amazon pick up the products they think will sell on their own based on your images, your keywords, and your price. Right? It's pretty simple stuff. Now, this is what I actually teach. I don't actually know anybody else that teaches this method of private label dropship and how to list and scale in volume if you're looking at the private label, but that is the only way I recommend someone do private label. And unfortunately, to my knowledge, I'm the only one that teaches it that way because I had to learn it on my own. I still do highly recommend the wholesale FBA, buying up front and sending it to Amazon, but the brand name stuff where you know it's going to sell, and just being conservative with it. So if you think you can sell 50 or 100 units in a month, don't order that many, order half that, order a quarter of that, order 10 units, send it into Amazon and just test it. Because if you spend 5 grand on inventory and it doesn't sell, you could have spent a few $100 instead. This has got to be one of the most, if not the most important thing for any new seller to know. How much money does this require? It's such simple common sense. And the fact that 99% of these guys avoid giving this information up front, what does that tell you? It's slimy to me. It is so slimy because they just want you to buy their course. In the end, the most important takeaways for you guys to understand is the differences between Alibaba private label and then wholesale FBA. The differences between wholesale FBA and drop shipping via wholesale. So I hope this video helped. If you want to learn any more about how this business works and how you can, if you still want to do private label, I can help you with it, but you need to do the volume method. I highly recommend it. If you just want to get in and get your feet wet, or you want to be able to turn a profit in your first few months selling on Amazon, you want to focus on the brand name stuff. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and if you have questions, please comment below. If you're interested in me diving a lot deeper into the suppliers and all the other methods and strategies that I use to build these Amazon businesses, you can just send me a message. You can contact me on supremecommercetraining.com website and send us an email, or you can message me on social media. I hope you have a good one, and I'll see you next time.